What's going on? This is T. Thanks for checking out this video. Now, if you haven't already, be sure to subscribe to my channel so you can stay on top of the latest life tips and strategies. Follow me on my other social media platforms located in the description box below. Now, enjoy this video. In this article that CNBC published, Mark Cuban shares what he believes the #1 thing successful people must have. The article is titled Mark Cuban says successful people share one trait, quote unquote, most people don't have. He says it's the only thing in life that you can control. I'm going to hit 3 key points in this article that he mentions. If you would like to read the whole article, the link is in the description below. All right, let's get to it. He says there's one trait you should cultivate above all others if you want to be successful too. He says the one thing in life you can control is effort, and being willing to do so in a huge competitive advantage because most people don't. Putting in effort means going beyond what's required to solve problems, even when you aren't asked to, on top of your job's normal responsibilities. All right, even though he's not wrong, he's actually right. But he's also speaking from an owner's point of view. Most, if not all, employees will not be going over and beyond if it isn't necessary or if they're not getting anything out of it. That's exactly why companies have bonuses and incentives for those people who go over and beyond, because they understand that people will want something out of doing more than a requirement.
Duh.
But from an owner's point of view, of course, I want someone to do more than what's required. That, of course, builds the company up.
Duh.
He goes on and gives an example of what the typical person does who don't go above and beyond. He even goes to say, don't apply for a job with me if you're that person who don't go the extra mile. But from an owner's point of view, of course, why would I want someone who don't go the extra mile? And it says Cuban comments come amid an ongoing quiet quitting environment. It goes on to explain what quiet quitting is for those who don't know. The phrase refers to the idea that people should do the work that they get paid to do and nothing more. Then a vice president of an employee compensation company says it's ultimately an engagement issue as we think about what employees are really looking for and setting boundaries for themselves. She even goes on to say it's not going anywhere. I agree. I don't think quiet quitting is going anywhere. Employees are simply overworked and burnt out if quiet quitting is going on. If you're that person, or you know someone who is not doing anything more than the bare minimum, you're probably overworked and just simply burnt out. Burnt out is real. For those who don't know what burnt out is, the link to that definition is in the description box, but it's a real thing. Again, being overworked with no incentives in today's economy will lead to either quitting entirely or staying under the radar at your company and doing the bare minimum. I feel that extra effort should be rewarded from an employee standpoint in some sort of fashion. It doesn't have to be money, even though money will probably produce the most effort, but it could simply be acknowledgement. It can be gift cards, whatever it is, but the effort has to be rewarded in some sort of way. I could go on, but let's get to the last point that he makes. The article goes on to say, for Cuban, it's seemingly personal. He built his career by analyzing where he gets the most reward for his effort instead of following his passions and seeing where they led him. The thing that I end up being really good at were the things I found myself putting effort into. A lot of people talk about passion, but that's really not what you need to focus on. You need to evaluate and say, okay, where am I putting my time? All right, hell of a tip he drops here. Honestly, he could have just said this without the article, which he probably has said that somewhere. But this right here, to me, seems what most successful people do compared to others. We're sort of taught to find where your passion is at and do that so you would, quote unquote, feel like you're not working a day in your life. And in some cases, that probably works. That's probably effective. But the bottom line in this world is to make money. Mark Cuban completely destroys that way of thinking and advises you to focus on where you put your time in and learn how to get the reward out of that. Seems like it's simple, but it also seems a little bit complex. Brilliant way of thinking, if you ask me. This is a great article. If you enjoyed it, give it a like, comment your thoughts below, and share it with someone who you think to hear it. Right, if you're not setting yourself up for success, then by default, you're setting yourself up to fail. See you guys on the next one. Make it a good day. Thanks for listening to this episode. If you enjoyed it and would like more content like this delivered to you on the regular, be sure to subscribe to the channel.